Hello. After a very long time, I haven't checked in like 2 months. Ever since the world shut down, it has been impossible to get everything done. So here we are. I think the last time I checked in was right when everything really was shutting down and the daycare had just shut down, so my son was here, and it is impossible to film with him here. I still am working full time, but I have to do it from home with him. It's been a lot. So today, finally, I needed to film my last pregnant and planting. It's weird to plan the last one. I am currently 38 and a half weeks pregnant. So I am being induced in a couple days. So it really will be my very last one. It's been fun. I wish I could have done more, but the world kind of ended for a little bit and is still ending as we speak. But anyway, I had filmed little bits here and there before all of this happened, and I really needed to clean out my camera so that I can take pictures of my newborn since no one can come to my birth. So today will be all about everything that's happened in the past 2 months, at least as far as the farm goes. I'm anticipating this will be a long video, so in the description below I will put time marks for different things that I talk about. I know some people only care about the gardens, some people only care about the animals and all that, so feel free to skip around for whatever you care about. But I wanted to start off talking about the chickens, since I think that was the last video I made. I didn't even look, to be honest. I can't remember the last thing I talked about. I am still really active on my Instagram. If you follow me there, it's the same title, With My Hands Homestead, on Instagram. But I update that pretty much every day for stories, and it had been every day for Instagram posts too, but I'm, doing the best I can right now. And if you want an update on when I have my baby, you can check that out on Instagram. I definitely won't be making a YouTube video about it. But anyway, I can't remember the last time you saw the chicks. They might have been still little happy puffballs. We got 8 chickens from Tractor Supply right when all of this started. They were very cute. They were a straight run, so we weren't sure which ones were roosters and which ones were chickens. We just know that there were 4 Orpingtons and 4 Americanas, we think. They are now full-blown chickens. I don't even know. They must be 10 weeks old, maybe 9, 8, between 8 and 10 weeks old, and they are full-blown chickens now. I mean, I really did not anticipate them to grow that fast. I think when all of this started, I was in the middle of filming I think my 4 to 6 week update with them, something like that. Let me tell you, from 4 to 6 weeks, I hated these stupid chickens. They were so big, they were so gross, they were still in the house. It was awful. I regretted everything, and I was like, oh no, I'm not a chicken person. But I think we just kept them in. They were in the house too long. We don't have an outdoor brooder. They were in our dining room. They were big, they were ugly, they're messy. That is a terrible stage. So if you hate chickens and they are 4 to 6 weeks old, you are not alone. They were awful. I really just wanted to let them free in the woods and never see them again. At that stage, at first, the brooder we had was too small for 8 chickens, especially the Orpingtons. They were gigantic. So the first thing we tried was to separate them, 4 in one brooder, and then we had a big cardboard box, and 4 in the other, to just separate them, because they were I mean, no matter what I did, their water and their food, I had to change it like 3 or 4 times a day. I'm not exaggerating. It was awful. Ugh, I hated it. I hated them so much. So separating them helped a little bit, but only for like a week or two. And then I got so fed up, I was like, they have to go outside. I can't do it anymore. So the coop wasn't done yet at that point. So we just made like a little, I don't even know what you would call it, but we put some chicken wire in a circle and made like a playpen type thing. At night, I covered the top with a tarp, and we had another little box in there that they just kind of roosted in. And that worked until the coop was done. That actually worked surprisingly well. And it was kind of a good transition. Now, the coop is done. We need to put the finishing touches on it. I'll probably put in a clip at the end of what I'm talking here. But we need to paint it, and we need to finish the run. But they are out there. Similarly to the little playpen thing that I had, we just kind of rigged up a temporary run. It's really ugly, but it lets them be outside during the day. They're still not good at going in at night. That is a challenge, and we have to put them in by hand, and it's really annoying, especially being extremely pregnant. But hopefully that will be resolved soon once everything permanent is in place. But I like them a lot more now that they are outside. Everything changed when they were outside. So I definitely do not recommend keeping them in the house at all. Unless you have to. It's terrible. And then, obviously along the same lines, as they grew, we kind of can tell more which ones are roosters and which ones are hens. We are like 90% sure we only have one hen of each breed. So one Americana and one Orpington, which is a big bummer, but I mean, that's kind of what you get when you get straight runs. They're gonna usually be mostly roosters. So we didn't only want 2 chickens. We knew we didn't only want 2 chickens. So we ordered some from a hatchery that I won't name. But long story short, we ordered them. I ordered 2 leghorns. My husband really wanted leghorns. We ordered 2 Easter eggers. I got a Well Summer and a Lakeshore. I won't go into why now, but basically they all have different color eggs. So we were really excited about them. They came in, I think, 2 weeks ago now, and it was a nightmare. It was awful. They came in late, and like they were projected to be coming in on one day. They didn't come. It was the next day, and which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about live animals, it's not good. Out of the 6, 3 of them were dead, and one of them was like, I thought it was dead. It was really traumatic because it was really gross. Like, really, I'm not going to talk about it. You don't want to know. You don't want to know why it's gross, but it was really gross. I don't even want to think about it. So only 3 survived, but the one that I didn't think was going to survive did. So we have 2 leghorns. Of course, those 2 survived. I didn't even want leghorns. It was my husband that wanted them. I wanted all the other ones, and all of them freaking died, except for one. I can't tell, and even when I obviously contacted the hatchery, they couldn't even tell if this chick was an Easter egger or a Well Summer. It looks like a Well Summer, but also some Easter eggers look like that when they're chicks. So I don't know right now what it is. I'm really hoping it's a Well Summer. I really do. So that was a huge bummer and not a good experience. I didn't think we were gonna ever order again mail order chicks, because I do not want to go through that again. But it's so late in the season now, and between all the stuff with everything being shut down, usually we could get chickens at our livestock auction, but that's not happening right now. To me, the priority that I wanted in chickens was different color eggs. That's what was really important to me. I don't care about their personality. I don't care what they look like. I don't care about their production. I wanted that beautiful array of blue and light brown and dark brown and green, and I wanted that beautiful egg assortment. So I didn't just want to get any chickens, and it's really hard to find a lot of those breeds out in the world. So after a lot of thinking and trying every other option, I did go ahead and get the replacement order. But because obviously chickens have to hatch, they won't be coming in for another month, over a month. So just the whole chicken thing ended up being just like one fiasco after another. And it's all gonna be fine next year, but we're only gonna have like 2 laying hens this year. I mean, they're not gonna start laying until like September. And then these 3, I don't know if they will ever start laying before the spring, because when they reach maturity, I think it'll be like November or December. And that'll be the middle of the winter, and we're not doing the light thing. You can like put artificial light to have them keep laying in the winter, but we're not going to do that. So they might not even lay in the winter. And then these ones that won't even be born or won't even be hatched for another month or 2, they're not going to reach maturity until like February or March. Like, so it'll what I thought, I just did not expect all of this, and we might not even get eggs this year. So that's super great, but it'll all be fine next year. It is what it is. It'll be great when it's all said and done, but it's been really frustrating so far. So right now we have all 8 big chickens in the coop right now. We have our 3 survivors in the brooder, and we have 6 coming. No, do I have 6? 5 coming? 4 coming? Gosh, I can't remember. I think, no, only 4. Only 4 in the replacement, because 3 died, and then because I am not sure if the chicken we have is a Welsummer or an Easter egger, I wanted to make sure that we got a dark brown egg layer. I know I'm getting way too detailed with it, but long story short, I got 4 instead of 3 replacement chicks. So that's what's going on with the chickens. Oh my gosh, what a mess. It's so hard to get anything in the garden done. It's totally overrun by weeds already. I just can't keep up with it. I can't do it right now. I have to wait until after I am not pregnant anymore. It's just too much. Even though I kept it smaller this year, it's just too much. I have everything in the ground, and that's about as good as it's gonna get right now. I'll put in the footage, obviously, but I'm definitely not proud of it. I don't want to show it to you, but I mean, the realistic part of it, and especially this whole thing is about being pregnant during, doing your homestead and doing your garden. And I just couldn't do it. It was too hard. Just bending down at all is really hard. Being in the hot sun. Now being home with my 2-year-old who cannot be in the garden for more than like 5 minutes. Trying to wrangle him, it's just impossible. It's impossible, and it really, really sucks. It sucks when you're motivated and you want to do it, and it's usually a stress reliever. I love being out there. I love gardening. I love doing that, but physically I am incapable of doing it, and it's extremely frustrating. But at this point, I know my limitations, and it is what it is. I can't do it. So don't judge me too harshly on this footage. Oh my gosh, even going out there makes me so sad because, like, I mean, the plants are healthy. We're gonna get stuff, but aesthetically, like, it's so overrun. And, like, it just doesn't, the layout isn't how I wanted it. I just kind of had to stick stuff in where it fit. And it's like, we've had a lot of weird things. Like, our neighbor's horse got out and ran through the garden, which was really random and really annoying. And so some plants got killed that way, and it's just a really freaking weird year. I don't know how else to put it. So I'll put that in now, but that's pretty much how the past 2 months have been. It's been extremely hard. I know it's been hard for everyone. I don't think anyone's been having a fantastic time. I try to stay positive. There are positive things. It's really cool being home with my kid so much, especially right before I have another one. It is really cool, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, but trying to balance everything is just impossible. And in the beginning, when I was trying to balance everything, it was so stressful, I was going insane. So now I've just accepted that I have to do priorities, and unfortunately the garden definitely ended up being on the bottom of the totem pole. And even, some of the animal stuff, like, I just can't do it. Physically, emotionally, I just can't do it. So it's kind of a hard time right now on our homestead. It's not what the usual situation is, but we will get back on track. We are adding another family member in 5 days, I think, something like that. But yeah, so that's where we've been. I had these great plans of doing a ton of videos and doing them ahead of time and spreading them out so that you could have a weekly video, for a while without me having, in advance. That's not happening. That's not gonna happen. I don't know when I'll be back. But it'll be eventually. I'll keep up with my Instagram. So if you care at all about us or want to know anything about us or the baby or the farm or the garden, follow me on there. I'll link that in the description also. I always do. But thank you for sticking with us and wish us luck. So here is my very weedy garden. I've definitely neglected it with everything going on. I'm sure I've said it 100 times, but here is where our cilantro was. It is now flowering, which is fine. I'm gonna collect the seeds. This was supposed to be an herb garden. Didn't turn out that way. I do have a random tomato growing there. Here we have tomatoes, tomatillo, which is actually doing pretty well, eggplant, and then those are all volunteer tomatoes. I know it looks really weird in the setup here. It's just like stuff on the perimeter and oddly spaced. We had a frost that ended up kind of killing half of the plants after our last frost date, but so that's why we have a bunch of empty space in the middle there. Same thing kind of over here. But a bunch of tomatoes, my oregano there, some kind of squash there. Don't know what it is. More squash. I think this is just a zucchini. Yeah, you can see a baby zucchini there. We have a squash here. This was supposed to be all green beans, but we didn't have a good germination and it got all weeded. More tomatoes over here. And peppers. Again, the frost killed a lot of my peppers, unfortunately. But we still got a couple. I don't think I'm going to do any more because I just don't want to overdo it. The peas are still doing pretty good. I need to pick them. but the spinach is pretty much done for the year. It's bolted. Gonna feed it to the animals. More tomatoes. Here was supposed to be my vining squash and watermelon, but it's not doing very well right now. Yeah, just not super great. Again, the cucumbers did not make it through the frost. I think I only have 2. Big bummer. Yeah, definitely not proud of this garden this year. I just can't. I just can't. But we need to weed eat around it. Here's the raised bed with strawberries and garlic. Need to pick the garlic. Strawberries, asparagus that I have not picked. All tall and ferning up, which is fine. I mean, it'll probably be better for it in the long run, but it's been really, really hard. Blueberry bushes, again, really need to weed whack around here, but we're getting really big blueberries. Not a ton of them, but really big ones, which is pretty exciting. Here are the potatoes. They need to be weeded, but these are the potatoes. They are looking great. I think we had 100% germination. They all came up. Gonna have lots of potatoes. We are going to mulch and weed, but we haven't done that yet. Over there is where the first round of corn is. One thing I did forget to mention was about our container garden. Every year we plant a couple plants in containers. Number one, for security. So we've had a lot of really weird weather this year, and including a couple frosts after our last frost date. So we can easily take them inside if we need to, when it's too windy and things like that. So we definitely will always have tomatoes and vegetables. But here is the end of my footage. I know it's a little bit of an abrupt ending, but thank you for watching, and I hope you all are doing great.